Uninformed Movie Reviews.
Aw.
It's a Christmas episode.
It's Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we're back. We're back, y'all, and we're doing something a little strange today. We're doing a movie gift exchange. Here's what we're doing. Each of us has got a gift for one other person here. And it's a movie they've never seen before. So we're going to open these presents. We're going to go watch the movie, and then we'll be right back, and we'll finish the rest of this podcast.
What a great surprise.
Coming at ya! And it's funny because we're all going to watch them at the same time in the same room on different TVs.
Three
Back to back to back.
Three TVs right next to each other.
Just like a classic 8th grade Halo local match, you know what I mean?
LAN party, movie party. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's dive into the episode. I guess I'm going to pick Danny. Danny, why don't you present the gift first?
I have to shout out to Michelle for this awesome wrapping option. Not mine.
Wow, that is
that is
bag.
nice. Wow.
I did put the paper in. I didn't get the bag.
Wow. If you're listening to the podcast, check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, look at
Uninformed
this.
Movie Reviews. So you
If
can
only
see.
to see that bag.
Yeah, this
Damn.
is quite royal looking. Okay, let's see what Danny got for me. It feels like it's a rock. One. What is this?
It's a movie with The Rock.
How many movies am I going to have to be watching? Okay, After Earth.
Have you seen that one? Oh my god! if you're listening to this podcast, David just manhandled this After Earth case. Oh, can he do it? Can he do it?
Wow, DVDs are hard to break.
Wow.
Yeah, that actually, I was expecting a snap. That's
I
not
wanted
what
to
I was
see some
expecting. Oh, I
debris.
learned something today.
Ah,
Huh.
This is going to stay on the set, I feel like.
you leave it there. Put in the Grinch's.
There you go.
I hate that movie.
I wanted to put it first for you.
Number 2, Annihilation. Let me crush this thing. Okay, this is a joke, right? Let me see. Hang on. What's number 3?
Yeah.
Why are there so many things in here, man? Close Encounters of the... I'm so confused right now.
You're not at the end.
Is there another one in here? Okay.
There is.
These are just movies that I own that
What
you
an
grabbed.
unexpected journey.
Oh, it's Arrival by Denis Villeneuve.
And I recreated the box art.
Wow.
From memory.
You're being very generous
From
saying that you
memory?
recreated the box art here. You're being very, very generous.
So we're gonna put up a thumbnail on the screen right now in editing, just to put it side by side.
Wow.
She'll break that.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
let me see this one.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It actually, this could be a new game. This could be like a movie trivia game where you have a note card. You have to draw the poster of a movie.
Recreate the box art.
Yeah, like it's a deck of cards that are movie posters, and you have to like get your buddy to guess which one.
I
it
like
is.
this.
You can
Ooh.
only do text if it's a clue. Like you can't do titles or like proper nouns or anything, but you could do like a clue in the movie poster font. You know what I mean?
Or even the tagline.
Ooh, tagline's good.
You know what? This is good for our Uninformed Movie Reviews live show coming up.
Oh yeah, and we have done tagline before.
Yeah.
We played that a while
With
ago.
Eric,
We
too.
should bring that back. Okay, let me.
Have you seen this movie?
I haven't. I actually
All right.
haven't seen Arrival, and it's always been on my list. This is one of those that I haven't watched. And good old Denis here.
It's not as boring as Dune.
Well, we'll see. No,
It's not as long as Dune.
I really like Denis, so I'm looking forward to this. Is a great gift, Danny. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to love it.
I'll cherish it forever.
And these ones are, besides After Earth, I would just put similar movies.
Oh, okay. I
To lead you
appreciate
up
it.
to there.
Oh, okay. I have like a tasting here. How exciting.
There you go.
Okay, Frank, well, why don't you give Danny his gift?
That sounds like an idea.
I swear to God, if it's Dog Soldiers again.
You've seen Dog Soldiers.
I
You
know.
loved
Yeah.
it. Everybody loved it. I know you guys couldn't speak from the heart because you were like, man, people are going to judge me for
I
liking this
swear to God,
movie,
if it's
but
the Warriors
It's
video
grown on
game.
me, actually. I remember not liking it when we reviewed it. I was like, I have a fondness for it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I liked it the first time.
It's come around.
It's like a dog. You're not sure about it first. At first, you're like, man, this thing's kind of hyper. And then eventually you're like, this is a good boy.
Where my dog's at. That's a
Merry Christmas,
DMX
Danny.
quote. Yeah, thank you.
Merry Christmas, DMX.
Serenity.
Serenity.
Wow. Okay, so not only did Frank give me a great movie, he also gave me what? 10 hours more.
It's the gift
to prep myself
that
with.
keeps on giving.
Beautiful.
I put in my notes and I was trying to narrow it down. I was like Serenity and by association and necessity, all of Firefly.
Wait, so I have to watch Firefly before this?
If you want it to make sense and you
Okay.
don't want to ruin it for yourself.
It will literally make no sense if you don't watch Firefly.
I would imagine so.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they have a couple scenes where they try to like exposition you for like, I don't know, moms and dads who took their kids to see this movie and they never watched the show or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, they
And
must
I
have
was,
been real confused.
I was worried about doing this because of the time, you know what I mean? That you'll have to like watch everything in. But I believe in you. I believe
So
you can do
far,
it.
you're winning in the runtime department.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought I gave him a long one.
No, don't feel bad about that at all. But
So
I
what-
honestly think by the end of this, you're going to be like, oh my God.
So are you going to give David like a mix? Oh, no, David already got
yeah,
his.
it's
Yeah.
my turn.
Are we going to give him like Ben-Hur and like the 10 Commandments or something?
I've seen maybe the first 40% of Ben-Hur.
Hasn't everyone seen it?
Thank you, Frank,
You
by
guys
the
have
way.
all seen 10 Commandments, right? I feel
Yeah,
like that's
oh,
a
yeah.
movie you could not watch.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Charlton Heston, man.
Yeah, Charlton Heston. In a similar vein of Danny's, did I get Frank the entire Cowboy Bebop animated series? I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Let's find out.
That would be a real good thing.
All right. Requiem for a Dream
Yeah.
and Pie?
Well, we've already seen Pie,
Yeah,
so
I was-
just look at the
Say,
first
do I
one.
have to watch Pie?
I've already reviewed this movie.
I know I said I was looking forward to another rewatch soon, but I don't think that time has come quite yet.
Wow.
Requiem for a Dream. Thank you, David. That's exciting. Also, like Arrival for you, this has always been on my list, and
Yeah.
I have just never gotten around to it.
You are going to love that movie.
Yeah, I thought, the holiday season can be a really tough time for people emotionally, and I thought, what better than the saddest movie ever made?
What better way to push him over the edge?
That's such a thoughtful gift.
Yeah, make sure you're in a good
Just
place
one
when you
good
watch
last
it.
shove from behind.
You're just going to come home from like working Christmas Eve and you're just going to be like, what a good time to put on Requiem for a Dream. I'm exhausted and I hate it. Humanity.
I'll do it like after I get home from work on the 23rd, like knowing I'll have to go back on the 24th and then just deal with really angry people who are like, what do you mean you don't have it on the last possible day to buy a gift? That'll really do it.
But I'm a crappy dad.
Yeah.
And Requiem for a Dream is very similar to It's a Wonderful Life. It'd make a great movie pairing. So
Wow.
it's not
I
really.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that'd be like one of those opposites attract kind of thing.
Very exciting.
Well, I guess this is when we'll do a slow evaporating fade. Hey, we're back. We've watched the movies.
Yes.
We're
That's
ready for the
right.
discussion.
We watched the movies and then some.
Well, Danny did. I feel like we're gonna save yours for last, Danny, because
Yeah.
you got the chunky boy.
Yes.
So why don't we pass it on over to the chunky boy, Frank? Give us the. That's rude. I am, if anything. Why don't you give us the Requiem for a Dream thoughts, man? Darren Aronofsky's Requiem for a Dream. My gift to you.
David, thank you so much. Not just for kicking it over to me, but for this delightful experience that I've been putting off for way too long. And maybe delightful. No. That. I was delighted. I actually watched it twice. Wow. Because I feel like this is a movie you can't go talking about. You only seen it one time. You know what I mean? So I watched it, sat on it for about a week, and then watched it again today, as a matter of fact. What a wild ride, man.
Would you say it was finger licking good?
In the context.
Yeah, I think that's a bit dicey. But I don't know, man. It's where do I even start? You know what I mean? It's, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's a tale about 4 interconnected people trying their best to find happiness in like the worst ways possible. And as you can imagine, it doesn't work out very well for anybody. And every step of the journey, I don't know, it just pulled me right in 100%.
Yeah.
It definitely made me think of certain aspects of certain times of my life. And it's like, man, I'm really glad I started making better decisions.
Yeah. I think I was there at those points with you.
Well, it's their journey for happiness, but also like their struggle with addiction, and each of them being, 3 of them being the same addiction, really,
And
handled
one,
in different ways. But
Yeah.
the mom kind of dealing with a a slightly different version.
Yeah, and it's I like the mom's journey of addiction is very different because her real struggle is like she is really just looking for happiness and purpose, and she says it a couple times, like everyone will like me. She just wants to be liked.
Yeah.
She wants to feel loved. She wants to feel like worthy of love even. And then she goes to Western medicine, which, as you know, can just prescribe you some pills until you end up in a mental hospital with them hitting you with the electroshock treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ahead of its time, especially when you think about like
The opioid crisis,
the
right?
opioid crisis in the United States. It's
And it's easily one of the best movies that I've ever seen with the Wayans in it.
yeah, I mean,
That's weird, right?
I think all four of the main cast, which I'm blanking on the mom's name right now.
Is it Tilda Swinton?
I have it.
No.
No, I have it in my notes.
Something with a B, Bryn Burr.
I was practicing pronouncing it, and I bet you I won't get it right. Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah, Ellen Burstyn, Burstein, I think.
Burstein.
She's incredible, man.
Oh, and the New Jersey, New York accents are delightful as well.
Oh yeah, they're
Come on, Ma. Come on, Ma. Why you gotta be like that, Ma?
Jennifer Connelly kills it. Yeah, which Wayne is it? I'm so
It's Marlon.
Marlon Wayne. I mean, yeah, incredible performance. And then it's like Jared Leto. What happened, man? Like he's really had some stinkers lately.
Yeah.
But he's amazing in this movie.
He's so good.
When you put him in a good role, he does an amazing job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I like all the relationships between the characters. I like you feel that they don't want to be making these same decisions, especially with the this half-ass plan that like Tyrone and what is his name again? The character's name?
Harry?
Harry Goldfarb. They're planning some quick flips to finally stop struggling in the streets. But the main crux of their plan is like, at no point do they intend to stop using like heroin and cocaine and the heavy doses. They're just like, I don't want to worry about where we're getting our money for our heroin.
I just want to get rich so I can have way more drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they almost pull it off, but then they're drug addicts, so they make bad decisions, and you get a couple of bad flips of the coin, and everything goes to shit pretty quick.
Which is so weird because there's no like cinematic and like instances of going into business with people who do drugs going wrong.
Oh yeah, this is probably the only
So
movie I can
weird.
think of.
Well, it's funny, like in Lord of War, like Jared Leto has that thing going on with his brother, one Nick Cage, and business is going good until Jared Leto gets heavily involved in the drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it all kind of goes to shit from there.
Isn't that kind of the thing with like some higher up cartel drug lords too? They don't do the drugs.
No,
You know what I
I
mean?
think that's the
you
rule,
can't
isn't it?
get
Yeah.
high on your own supply. It just doesn't work that
That's
way.
the rule. Yeah, what a terrible casting of brothers, Nick Cage and Jared Leto.
Yeah, those two dudes look nothing alike.
Someone got the good genes. I don't know.
Yeah, and it looks like Nick Cage could be his dad. You
Yeah,
know what I
that
mean?
too.
They don't seem like brothers. They seem
Lord
like
of War
father-son.
that's a great movie.
Lord of War was fun.
I love Lord
Yeah.
of War.
Dogs of War is another one. Not
You know what? I haven't seen
That one's great.
Dogs of War yet.
with Miles
Morales.
No. The kid from Whiplash and Jonah Hill.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
real good. It's real good.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out.
Speaking on this movie though, is there not? This is one of those instances of a movie just having such a beautiful, poetic name. Like this name just suits this movie so perfectly, and just like the name of the movie itself should be like a friggin' poem or something like that. It's
Oh, yeah, man.
It's amazing.
One of the aspects I really loved and identified with the most was Jared Leto's tendency to like his daydreams. He gets caught in those daydreams, which could be some like drug induced like kind of deal. You know what I mean? But that I really liked. I liked Aronofsky's use of kind of Edgar Wright-esque like jump cuts in like the drug scenes. Every time they go to like get high, it's just like boom, roll the dollar, boom, cut your line, boom, snort the line, and then you're out like at the party and stuff. All that stuff.
Or
is
even the
super
main
cool.
line. when
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah, you get the little
And you see
bubbling
the
sounds.
pupil expand and stuff like that. It's really good.
And then the audio kind of always cuts out for a little bit.
Yeah. Because, it'll drown everything out, man. That stuff's like love.
Yeah, really good.
It's love in a needle.
Did you catch the Perfect Blue reference in Requiem for a Dream? I'm
No,
just
I
curious.
didn't.
they both have the shot of the girl bent over in the bathtub screaming underwater. And there's actually a little bit of controversy that Darren Aronofsky has in multiple occasions ripped off anime and then not even said like, oh, this is a nod to, but straight up denied.
Of just being like, no, I came up with that all on my own.
And he purchased the American rights to Perfect Blue.
Really?
So it's even like a little more like, what are you doing, Aronofsky?
It's a little sus.
That honestly feels less controversial because it's like, listen, guys, I own it.
Who's gonna sue
I can do
me?
whatever I want with it.
But he should at least like own up to it. Not
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, no. That's just, we just came up with the same idea. It's like,
Oh
no,
my
dude,
God,
yeah,
man.
It's like, sure, I passed high school Spanish by cheating off of the Asian kid in the class, but I'm upfront about that.
Yeah. Which is even funnier because in Black Swan, that is Perfect Blue. Like Black Swan is literally Perfect Blue. So it's like, Aronofsky, we see what you're up to over here. We've seen the enemies.
And honestly, I'm bummed that last night in Soho didn't rip off Perfect Blue more because it probably would have benefited from something like that.
You're right.
Because when I saw
actually.
the trailer, I remember thinking like, this feels a lot like Perfect Blue.
Oh, Black Swan? Or for Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho, yeah.
Which also reminds me of Black Swan. So this is like all 6 degrees of
Have
separation.
you seen Perfect Blue?
I've not. No,
Ooh,
that's one I'm laxing
watch,
on.
man. That's a good
It's
watch.
next year's movie gift exchange.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we really should do this every year. This was a fun experience.
Yeah, this is fun.
I feel like there was another point I wanted to make. But while I'm thinking of it, I would be remiss to not hit you with some stats real quick.
There we go.
Requiem for a Dream released in the year 2000.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right in a pre 9/11 world. We didn't even know.
Whoa.
The government probably knew.
I
at
saw
this
this
point,
movie?
but we didn't.
Wow.
21 years ago.
It's wild.
You saw this in theaters?
No, I just
okay.
like probably on DVD or something.
When you were
like that.
9 years old
Yeah.
to watch Requiem for a
Well,
Dream?
not a lot of people watched it in theaters, but we'll get to that. Currently has an 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb, a 79% on
low.
Rotten Tomatoes
That's good.
with its 102-minute runtime. Made on a budget of $4.5 million, would score an opening weekend of $64,770.
Yikes.
All around worldwide gross as of today, $7,390,108. They're
crazy.
barely making some money on this thing.
How
That's
insane.
sad.
It's sad, but it's also like par for the course.
It's a
I
cult
mean,
movie.
Yeah.
That and it's 2000s America, man. You're talking about Dude, Where's My Car, Joe Dirt, and what else is coming out? Road Trip. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is not a good time for heady films.
No.
This movie could come out today and feel very contemporary.
Yeah.
You're right.
We were trying to see some boobies and see some dudes get hit in the nuts. And that's what America was interested in at the point.
Yeah.
And some weed.
Yes.
And some Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, they went too hard.
They went too hard drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
They should have
No one wants to see heroin. That's depressing.
But I love a good old depressing movie, man. They make me happy.
Does it remind you of Train Spotters?
Yeah.
Train Spotting?
For sure. No dead baby, but
That
You know,
could have been.
I saw this movie before Train Spotting, and then, after seeing this and being really into Requiem, like, it was like, oh, Train Spotting's kind of similar, and then I watched it, and not that Train Spotting's bad, but it's a little more humorous than this movie.
Yeah. It's more comedic.
And it never even the dead baby thing well, spoilers for Train Spotting, but who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
the dead baby thing at the end is really depressing, but it never reaches that tension and dread that this movie hits at the end.
Aronofsky can make you feel like there's no hope in humanity after a movie.
Yeah.
especially the way at the end that he hits everybody's rock bottom, and it kind of ties into everything. I'll never be able to hear the phrase mashed potatoes the same again because of the timing of Jennifer Connelly's rock bottom with Marlon Wayans like mashing those disgusting looking potatoes in the prison. The prison guards is just like, yes, mashed potatoes, as she's ramming her rear into that other girl's rear with that apparatus connecting them like a a poorly put together human centipede.
Wow.
Beautifully stated.
Wow.
But yeah, man, I could see myself rewatching this for years to come easily.
What's like the name for like a movie like this? I love movies like this where they're kind of like 4 arbitrary characters that are in the same story but aren't in the same story. You know what I mean?
Oh,
we're talking like Crash and Libel. I think it was. No. Crash.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The one with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Syllable? No.
I think it's libel. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's libel, but you're really close.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And
it's like an ensemble.
yeah,
It's
an ensemble movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like Cloud Atlas.
Well, and
things like
even
that.
to a degree, like a lot of Tarantino movies, like Pulp Fiction.
where they're just existing in the same town or universe, but they're not necessarily interacting with each other.
No, and if they do, just very lightly. And it makes for a very interesting story and like a really fleshed out universe.
Yeah.
Also really fun to just see. Got to give a shout out to the actor who plays Tappy Tippins, one Christopher Shooter McGavin McDonald.
Hey.
And it's always fun seeing Mark Margolis on the screen. You know what I mean? Every time you see him pop up, it's a good time. He plays Mr. Rabinovitz, the like pawn shop owner.
That's right.
But yeah, it was just super cool, man. Very, very fun, very interesting watch.
Fun. I don't know if I described it.
I am who I am, David.
Well, that's why I picked that movie for you. I love, also, you got to shout out Lux Eterna, which is like the piece of music that's the theme from Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, I've definitely been whistling the theme all week.
Very minimalist, very powerful. And then it's like the score for the last like 8 or 9 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, good stuff, man. And then you get some surprise gore at the end when they go to cut off Jared Leto's arm and just splats right in his face, which is bad hospital etiquette, I think.
Yeah, I think they could have figured that out a little bit better.
But then again, I'm not a surgeon. Maybe that happens every time.
I don't know.
Can't wait till the Aronofsky watch list, man.
Oh, that's gonna be such a sad list of movies.
I love it.
But we've already seen a lot, like Pie, Requiem, Black Swan.
You haven't seen Mother.
I've seen
We
Mother.
watched
You've
it
seen Mother?
together.
We've discussed it on the channel.
Yeah, I think the one I'm missing is the
just
Fountain.
like briefly.
I haven't seen The Fountain. That's the one I'm missing.
That's my least favorite of
Well,
his, I think.
that's
I
a
think
bummer.
we were comparing. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Wrestler either, and I heard that one's really good.
That's amazing.
The Wrestler is
That-
great.
It does
watch
not
Wrestler.
feel like an Aronofsky movie.
Interesting.
In fact, when I found out it was Aronofsky after having seen it, I was like, really?
Really?
Huh.
Him?
Strange. There's like uplifting moments in it.
Yeah, it can't all be zingers. Oh, you know what? I would also be remiss if I didn't just mention in Requiem for a Dream the Godfather reference, which is actually a reference that is used throughout a lot of different films as nods to the Godfather, and that's the symbolism of oranges being tragedy.
Okay.
Now, I won't spoil Godfather for you, but there's a scene in Requiem for a Dream where they're waiting on that big, they're like the supply is low, everyone's out, and there's this truck coming in, and they're all excited for the truck, and they need that.
Man, that whole time you're just like, there's no way they're pulling this off. Like, what's going to happen?
What's going to happen with this? This is not going to end well. And the truck that delivers it is an orange truck. There's a bunch of oranges on the side. But a lot of times, like, filmmakers will use that as a reference, that oranges are a sign for deception and like, oh, tragedy's just around the corner.
Damn, this whole time I thought they were just a valuable source of vitamin C.
Oh, they are tasty too.
I love
You know what
oranges.
Oh, and then you get that great camera facing the character while they're sprinting shot. I mean, there's just so much good stuff about Requiem for a Dream.
So much good. I love the look, love the sounds, love the way the characters play off of each other. Can't rave about it enough. Watch Requiem for a Dream if you haven't yet.
Why has Jennifer Connelly got to be so damn beautiful?
Right?
I just don't get it, man.
You know? And this
Drop
is
dead gorgeous.
This is a lady that Michelle just says looks like a woman. I'm like, you're crazy, Michelle.
That says looks like a woman?
She's just like, Jennifer Connelly just looks like a lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm like, no. Like, she's
No,
like,
she looks like a goddess.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Like, I could believe that she was like elven.
Yeah. Yeah, why wasn't she in The Lord of the Rings at
that's
any
the
point? She would have been perfect
She
for
was
it.
filming Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, and then she was in Labyrinth, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
close enough.
And she's in this really bad John Hughes movie called Career Opportunities, which
never
is
heard
like
of that.
almost like a slight remake of Home Alone. It's like really, it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
And you know what, David? I got to thank you again because my PlayStation won't play certain DVDs. This happened to be one of them. I borrowed the DVD from you. So I did hit up the IMDb. It was like, hey, you have HBO Go. Just watch it on HBO Go. Watch it on HBO Go. And then HBO Go was like, Jennifer Connelly's in Blood Diamond 2. You want to watch Blood
Dude,
Diamond? And
Blood
I was
Diamond's
like, yes, I do. So I have you to thank for that as well.
Wouldn't it have been funny if it was like, do you want to watch Suicide Squad? You're like, oh, no.
You know what?
No, I don't.
We're going to have to put Blood
Cancel my
Diamond.
subscription, please.
Blood Diamond definitely goes on one of those lists of underrated great movies.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
That could be a long list, man.
Dog soldiers.
That's why we're here.
I guess that's true, though, right? The spirit of the channel. All right, well, I'm going to kick it over to me. I'll kick it to myself. Here
Nice
you go, David.
self kick.
Nice. Okay.
Like one of
I'm
those
ready.
football players, the soccer players, and just bloop, bloop.
Side note, my brother's been on a quest to kick himself in the head since he was like 12. I don't think I've seen him take an attempt at it in the last couple of years, but I feel like with some not so gentle older brother prodding, I can get him to
That was
start
a
attacking me
weird
again.
pantomime to like. I feel like I can get him with
Prodding?
a little bit of prodding.
Oh, interesting.
How else do you prod somebody?
Don't
It
do
just-
that to your brother, Frank.
My hand's closed.
I don't know.
I'm holding some type of stick or
I
staff.
don't know how small it is. I'm just saying.
I feel
I
like
hope he hears that.
I feel like your leg is longer than your torso.
Well, see,
What's the measurements?
he's actually worked up a pretty ingenious way to do this. He'll take like 2 to 3 steps like forward, and on that last one, he'll do like he doesn't kick straight up. It's almost like a hacky sack kick, like up, and then he'll bend down.
so he's hitting it with the side of his foot.
Yeah, and
That's a
when
lot
he
more
was still
practical.
working at it, he was very close.
He's just gonna like pop his leg out of his hip socket and just
What?
like.
And I think it all started as a simple like boring summer day, and I was like, "You think you can kick yourself in the head?"
So is it just like that Wee Man Acuna stunt?
Yeah.
Where he literally kicks himself in the head,
Yeah, it looks just like that, but like
Amazing.
a gorilla person.
but like full person.
Yeah.
Oh.
This guy is
He's gonna be a doctor.
he's gonna be a doctor. I was about to say, yeah, this guy's gonna be
You
a
gotta have to
doctor.
trust this guy with like your heart problems.
He's the guy who's gonna be chopping Jared Leto's arm off. Well,
Nice.
timed.
Perfectly timed, Wilhelm.
Thank you.
You know what? I will continue the spirit of gratitude by saying that Arrival, my gift from Danny, is amazing.
Yay! I'm so glad you liked it.
What a fantastic movie. Like a sci-fi movie that's like actually science fiction. You know what I mean?
You know, I gotta be honest. I was a little nervous that you wouldn't like this movie.
No, I loved it. I mean, there's so much character. There's a great plot. The premise is awesome. It's like, man, how did he mess Dune up so bad?
I mean, yeah.
How is Dune so boring? This movie's so entertaining and,
and
nothing happens.
this movie is way slower than
It's
Dune,
way
right?
slower than Dune.
Right?
Dune is like it should be a war movie. It should be like Star Wars.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you just want to take a nap through it. And
Yeah.
Arrival is thought provoking, and it's a simple. It's like really only 2 characters, 3 or 4 characters really. I mean, there's a bunch of other people in the movie, but you really only focus on a handful of people. And just to give you the premise real quick, it's basically like aliens land on Earth in these 12 pods that are kind of oval shaped. It's interesting because they look. It's like a weird.
It looks like a pebble.
It's like cut in half. Yeah, it's like a river rock or something.
Yeah, like one that's good for skipping. You know.
Yeah, good skip and rock. But they land these 12 ships all over the world.
Okay.
And basically, they're trying to figure out what's going on because they just stay there like monoliths, these giant,
They're just like set to hover.
Yeah.
They had
literally.
already tried shooting at it, and like
Well,
Yeah.
obviously.
yeah, but like
That's step one.
nothing does anything to it, and nothing has come out of it or anything like that.
So they hit up Amy Adams, who's Luis, and Amy Adams is like the expert, the professor on language, the study of language. So she becomes part of this team with Jeremy Renner, who is just really accurate with a bow. It's like he can shoot and never misses. So together, the two of them are trying to figure out how to decipher language and how to communicate with a race of aliens that has no commonalities whatsoever in language.
Ah, like Mars Attacks.
Yes, it's very similar to Mars
Honestly, yeah.
Attacks. Very similar. Pierce Brosnan's in it too. No, I'm just joking. But one big thing about this is if you're going to have a movie where you are going to have aliens communicate in a way that is incomprehensible, a big part of it is, can you sell it? Like when you watch Signs or something and they're like,
Yeah, clicking and chittering and stuff like
it's like,
that.
okay, I can see this. But Arrival, they are so creative with it. It's like
Yeah.
honestly an idea that like, when you see it, you're like, whoa, like where do we even start? And
Yeah.
then they just do a great job of like Amy Adams kind of like leading us through and being like, well, this is the next logical step to go to. It's just very scientific, very nerdy. And then just really, really interesting. There's a bit of mystery to it.
And you're like figuring it out with her, and then by the time you have figured out what has happened, you're just like, oh my god, like your head explodes inward, and it's like, that's amazing.
Which I believe they call an implosion.
Yeah.
Wait. Why you gotta do him like that, Frank? It's Christmas.
Bah humbug, David.
But yeah, no, Danny's right. I mean, it is an inward head explosion for sure. I'm gonna double down on it. It's really crazy because it's a good job of, it's one of those reveals that you're really not gonna guess.
Yeah.
You know, which is why I don't want to spoil anything. But when you get there, it's just such a great moment and like a powerfully emotional moment.
Yes,
too.
yeah, that's the big component.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess the twist. The aliens end up being the council from Kung Pao.
Dang, that'd be great.
How did you?
The little triangles.
Yeah.
Frank.
See, I've never seen Arrival, but I've seen Kung Pao tons of times.
Strangely enough, there is a maybe a distant tangent, but something that runs through this movie and Requiem for a Dream, and they both feature a track, a faux classical music track that is super minimalist, and used throughout the movie. This one is on the nature of daylight, which is actually used in a ton of movies. They use it in like Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell. There's like a music video where it's just what's her name? Oh man, Handmaid's Tale. Elizabeth Moss. It's like a music video, and it's mostly just close-ups of Elizabeth Moss's face, which is hilarious because that's just essentially Handmaid's Tale.
She's got such an ugly face too.
Oh, that's so rude.
Sorry.
That's so rude.
I wouldn't say she's ugly. She just looks like a British person from the 1800s.
I gotta say, after watching Handmaid's Tale, Elizabeth Moss, there was something very attractive about her. It's like her personality. It's
first it was Nick.
You know, Handmaid's Tale's got attractive people, man. I mean, and the worst part is the most attractive people are the really evil ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, the wife is super hot. The Australian wife. Well, she's actually Australian in real life.
She's not in the show. She isn't.
But she's terrible in the show.
The one from Chuck and Dexter.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
I don't either.
From Mass Effect 2.
They modeled the character after her. I forgot about
she's
that.
in Mass Effect 2. But anyway, this is a weird tangent. Yeah, that piece though is really cool. The nature of daylight. When you hear it, you'll recognize it. I think it's even in that one movie. That's actually, is this a doppelganger movie with what's the Annihilation?
I would say
close are they?
In like
release date. Annihilation
in release date
and Arrival.
I think Arrival came out in
Arrival came out in 2016.
16. Okay.
Oh, I don't feel like
Annihilation came out in like 2016 or 2018.
Weird. I feel like it's 2018. I don't know.
2018.
Okay.
2018.
A little far for a doppelganger, but they're getting like kind of close where it's like entity lands on Earth.
They're
and
really
mystery.
not far as far as the context and what they're trying to purvey. Yeah. So the Arrival is based off of a short story called "Story of Your Life" by what's his name? Author is Ted Chiang.
That's a bad name, but so is Arrival. They're both kind of bad names.
Story of Your Life is a bad name.
Yeah.
Arrival, it's kind of ambiguous.
It's no Requiem for a Dream.
No, there should have been a better title, but I feel like if there was one that was more pertinent to like what it's about, you might guess it earlier.
You might devalue it a little bit.
Yeah, that too. It's kind of like a myth. I had to mix it with like Annihilation, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Contact.
Yeah, definitely Contact vibes. I mean, for me, it's also, and
Interstellar,
obviously, but it's like it all kind of feels like 2001: Space Odyssey. Like if Kubrick had never made Space Odyssey, all those movies you just said wouldn't exist. You know
That's
what I mean?
true. That's
it's
true.
Weird, but it's got a very similar tone to it.
The overall like theme is like language and how we perceive language and what language is. And when you get it, you're just like, wow, that's amazing. I never thought about that. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I really am.
Killer movie.
I was a little nervous. I was like, it's a little slow. I don't know if David
No, I love slow movies, but something has to happen. Unlike Dune.
But isn't it gorgeous though?
But
beautiful
I guess,
too?
are you talking about Dune or Arrival?
No, Arrival.
Oh, Arrival's gorgeous.
Cinematography wise and everything.
And
too.
I mean, to be fair, Dune, this is only the beginning, so I need to give it another chance. You know what I mean?
There's very little, surprisingly little dialogue in Arrival too.
Yeah, for a movie about communication.
I know, right?
There's a lot of slow scenes for sure, but
Well, communication is more than just verbal communication.
yeah, it's true. And you know what?
And you know
That's
what, Frank?
something
Yeah.
that the movie gets.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, you care about the characters, and that makes you invest in the movie. I won't take another stab at Doom.
Yeah.
I don't need to. I'm done. Okay,
You'll
but-
find another chance before the episode.
I mean, I feel like that one was implied. You know what I mean? That one was implied. It's like when you have a movie with characters you care about, you'll sit through a slow movie.
It's true.
But
Totally agree.
So Arrival, 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb currently, 94% positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes
Dang.
with its 116-minute runtime. Made on a budget of $47 million. Would score an opening weekend of $24,074,047 with a current worldwide gross of $203,388,186.
actually, kind of surprising. I
Yeah.
kind of feel like it'd make less money.
I feel like people wouldn't have the patience for this movie, but
I think that's where that 7.9 comes from. It's
Yeah.
people who are like, but the aliens didn't blow anything up.
yeah, why aren't they mean?
Not enough anal probes.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if you don't like this movie. Like,
Yeah.
this is definitely one of those movies that at least you'll be like, that was cool. You know, that was interesting at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think, sometimes you recommend something to a friend, you're like, there's no way they're not going to like this. I mean, it's just so good and just so well done that
How could you possibly not enjoy this?
Like, if you just have any modicum of taste, then you will for sure be into this.
This is a good segue.
Well, speaking of which, Danny, why don't you kick us on over to Serenity? How's your experience with the Serenity crew?
Well, as you can probably remember, those watching and those listening, as at the earlier part of this episode, I was gifted Serenity, a movie which is 2.5 hours, which you probably wouldn't have known anything about if you didn't watch the 15 hours of material before that.
it's just under 2 hours.
Okay, it's
It's not 2.5 hours, right?
It's a minute short of 2.
Okay, so it's 16 hours and 59
Yeah.
minutes of assigned watching.
And I guess, to be fair, you don't have to watch all of Firefly.
Yeah, I got that.
But if you watch none of it, you're not going to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like I should have just done it in reverse, to be honest. Because when I had talked to you guys, when I was like really pissed off, and I was just like, I don't like this show. I texted Frank, and then I watched Serenity. I was like on episode 12 of Firefly. I had already put in 12 hours of it, and I was like, when is this gonna get good? And then,
You son of a bitch.
and then I was like, man, I'm just giving up. I'm gonna put on Serenity, and I'm just gonna see what this is all about. I put on Serenity, and I liked Serenity. Serenity
okay.
Weird.
was
I don't feel totally terrible because honestly, last night I was a half mixed of like, I was like, damn, I really gave Danny this huge task that I ended up. When I gave it to you, I was like, there's no way he's not going to love this. You know what I mean? And then I was also, the other half was like offense. I wanted to attack you. But then I pumped the brakes because I was like, this guy just watched 12 hours of a TV show that he didn't like because of me.
like if I had made you watch an anime
Yeah.
that you wouldn't like, yeah, you'd be hella pissed.
If you had to watch all of Cowboy Bebop, like the anime, before we did the episode, I think you would have been a little angrier. You know what I mean?
Which I did watch the first 7 episodes of.
Which also, this is a bit of a tangent, but what were you telling me?
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
You
yeah.
already shared it with me.
I probably won't watch anymore. I want to watch the episode with the teddy bear bomber. I want to watch the episode with the French crazy guy, and then I'm out.
But you don't really dig it.
Okay,
I gotcha.
Listener, this is just clarification that I am the one with the best taste, having enjoyed Firefly.
Are we talking
and
about
Cowboy
anime,
Bebop.
For you to say,
objectively,
you're like, yeah, I like the movies I like, therefore I have the best taste.
it's like Cowboy Bebop is top 5 anime of all time, and Firefly. Is
Okay, are we talking about anime or are we talking about movies?
No, I'm talking about anime. Cowboy Bebop.
I feel like we both have the best taste in
No,
anime.
but I'm saying you don't like Firefly and you don't like Cowboy Bebop, so the listener should not trust
okay.
you two about something. Like something hands off that both of you aren't down for those.
I don't mean offense by this statement because it's one of your qualities that I love about you, but that's one of the most arrogant things I've ever heard.
Hey, it's true, man. If someone was like, oh, you know what? I just don't like Star Wars. Like the original trilogy's awful. It's like something's up with that guy. Something's wrong here right now.
There are people that are like
There
that.
are people who don't
and
like
you know
Star
what?
Wars.
I don't like those people. You know what I mean? But when you're like I watched Ballad of the Falling Angels. I don't think I'll ever watch this again. I'm like, dang, dude. I mean, that's just like, it's beautiful. It's,
It's not my cup of tea, man.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I can't really say anything about that. Cowboy Bebop is definitely a better space cowboy thing. But let me just put this out there. Okay, well, let me get into this. All right.
Yeah, get
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah. We're sidetracking you a lot.
All right. Serenity. I almost feel like I could have just watched Serenity because they do a lot of summing up. A lot of it is like a rehash for like the first 30 minutes. And then they get on to like why River is River. And then they like what River's special powers are. Why the Alliance wants River. Why
She has that doe-eyed look all the time.
yeah, and it's like I mean, essentially, it's like I'm sorry, I'm getting lost here. It's like the Alliance. It says why the Alliance screwed up that whole failed experiment and essentially create. Can I spoil?
Ooh, yeah, I think so. It's old enough. It's old
Yeah.
enough. And you know what? We've given a warning now. So.
Okay.
People who wanted to watch Firefly and Serenity have watched it at this
Yeah,
point.
The issue is that
right?
no one wants
Yeah.
to watch it.
Yeah, it's talking about why the Alliance accidentally created the Reavers when they were trying to create like a Big Brother-ish state where everyone like just listens to them and all the outlying planets are into the main alliance. That's essentially their deal was to be one big thing, right? That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And they ended up, and they're never going to stop coming after River, even if everyone knows that their plan went awry. And in this, and in Serenity, you get Chiwetel. I can never get his last name.
It's a tough one.
Who's what's he go by? He goes by
The
Bishop?
operative.
the operative.
Oh, no. Okay. Now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Who are you
the
talking about
operative,
right now?
who's great. He adds a lot to the to the movie to keep it going. You know what I mean? They needed a baddie, but it's cool that the baddie is converted by the end too, and I like that too. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, the special effects are great in Serenity. The picture quality is great in Serenity. Cinematography is amazing in Serenity. It flows. It's got great dialogue. I mean, let me just say this about the whole thing overall. I like the dialogue. It's got some good dialogue. Nathan Fillion is hilarious. Wash is hilarious. I like Kaylee.
I mean, Alan Tiddick is going to be.
Alan Tiddick is
Tiddick's
awesome.
gonna Alan Tiddick.
Yeah.
I don't like Jane. And I don't care how much they try to make me like Jane. I don't like Jane.
Bro, you don't like a boy called Jane?
His whole backstory, Planet One, I was just like, oh my God, I don't care. Who else?
I'm just heavily offended. I'm still offended. I'm like angry. You know what I mean? You know what though?
Inara is gorgeous, and I'll always love Inara.
Not to tell you how you feel, but Danny is a bit.
But I'm gonna
do it anyways. Danny is a bit of a.
Effect snob.
Yes, that's
There you
exactly
go.
how I was
Yes,
going to put it. And
yeah.
it's like Serenity came out in Firefly came out in the early 2000s, and it's a TV show, and it looks like a TV show from the early 2000s.
It looks like garbage.
Bro,
man.
they reuse some of the armor and stuff from Starship Troopers. You love Starship Troopers.
I do, but it came out. Starship Troopers came out earlier than Firefly, and it looks way better than Firefly does.
Well, it's a film. I mean, and I get what you're saying about Serenity. I mean, Serenity does look amazing compared to Firefly.
Oh, I was waiting.
I mean,
once
beautiful.
Once it started playing, I was like, "Ooh, wow, this is great! I can watch this."
But I don't know if I agree with you on like just watch Serenity, because I feel like then there's certain characters
Yeah.
that the emotional impact doesn't hit it.
Yeah.
When you haven't been on the journey with them and there's also a little bit of feeling of like Joss Whedon being like, well, shoot, I need to wrap up this whole series in this movie. So there's like some stuff, even some stuff's rewritten from how it's said in the series.
Yeah.
And you can also tell he's like trying to shove it into you, like, okay, real quick,
A lot
like,
has
this
to
is what's
happen.
happening, and this is
All right, they
Yeah.
cancel my TV show.
Yeah.
I got 2 hours to finish this story. Here we go.
exactly.
My complaint with Firefly, I mean, there's many, but one of my complaints is that it was episodic, and I feel like they thought they were going to get more
Oh, yeah.
time.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean? So they wasted so much time. There's so much in that season that just doesn't need to be in there. The whole Christina Hendricks thing was just like, what are you kidding me right now? Obviously, Christina Hendricks is hot, but did
Nobody's
her story,
arguing
did that episode need to be
I don't know if that was the argument at all, Dan.
Wait,
Are you an anime fan arguing against filler right now? Is that what's happening right now?
I hate filler in all senses.
Are you saying you hate slice of life episodes? Is that what's going on?
That's why
right
I
now?
like Attack on Titan, because there's no filler, baby. It's all killer.
I guess that's true. But even your beloved Cowboy Bebop has a bunch of
it's got
episodes that
filler.
are totally unrelated.
Any pre 2010 anime is gonna have filler.
That's true. It's a different time.
That's just how it was, because they could sell episodic series on weeks and weeks and weeks and stretch it out. Look at One Piece,
and you got
that thing still exists.
You got to like write all that manga weekly. You're like, shoot, what are they gonna do this week? They're gonna go eat ramen.
I mean, that being said, there's just a lot that I hate. Well, I'll take that one.
Yeah, we have the censor work is cut out of this
I'm going to
episode.
be busy tomorrow. Yeah.
Hey, I haven't cursed like that in a lot of episodes, but
all good, baby.
I saved it because I knew it by the second episode of watching Firefly. I was like, I'm using the expletive on this. I hate that theme song. I hate it so much. It's on the level with bad Sons of Anarchy
Bro,
music,
you can't take the sky from me, bro.
Well, you can't take my sky away.
It is pretty bad. You know what? It's also like, it feels like Sons of Anarchy's intro to me. It's
Yes.
almost the same thing.
Yes, which I also hate.
All you need is like them slowly CGIing a tattoo on a Nathan Fillion's back at the end of it.
I mean,
Hot take, I think the Breaking Bad theme song sucks. I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like some people like it, but it's also in that same weird camp of like Western twanginess.
Yeah. There's no lyrics to the Breaking Bad one, though, right?
It's short. That's the good
That's
thing.
the beauty of it.
If it was as long as the Firefly
There
intro,
shouldn't have been any lyrics to the Firefly song. Okay, so I got that out of the way. Also, the music overall, I just don't like. I feel like it's out of place. And I guess I know they're doing a space western. It just feels so out of place in a lot of this that I'm just like, I hate the design of the Serenity. It is one of the ugliest looking ships I've ever seen. It looks like a goose, and not even like, it looks like an origami goose.
All right, so
we
number
are
one, it's
approaching fighting terms.
Yeah, right. I love the design because it's supposed to be like the jalopy. You know what I mean? Even in the first episode, they're like, it's a Firefly class, and the guy's like, they still make
I know.
those? Like,
Smugglers
what are they doing
use it,
driving
yeah.
around in that thing?
Smugglers use it because they have nooks and crannies they can hide things in. It's like blah blah blah. It's bad ship design. And I look at Cowboy Bebop's that ship. I mean, the Bebop is more of an iconic ship than the Firefly, than the Serenity.
You know what's funny to me, and I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know where I
Serenity. There's no the in it.
Serenity versus the Bebop. I don't know if I could. See, now I feel like we need to do an episode that's just like Firefly versus Cowboy Bebop, like Battle of the Space Westerns.
Man, that would definitely be 2-1.
Or which is funny because also I feel like in the Mandalorian ship is a ripoff of the Firefly.
Slave
Really?
One?
No, the Razor Crest. Is that what it's called? The Razor Crest? Or am I getting my Star Wars ships mixed up? Because it has that back hatch thing that opens just like Serenity. It looks very similar.
I know what you're talking about.
The one that gets
the
destroyed.
hell out of that back hatch. That back hatch.
They
comes
use
in
the hell out of
clutch.
it in Firefly.
you gotta use it, man.
That's like their Deus Ex Machina every chase, man.
Alan Tiddick and Kaylee
Every
are the
episode
Deus
is
Ex
like,
Machina.
oh no, we're gonna fight. Oh God, let's chase away. Alan Tiddick, save us. Open the hatch. Yeehaw, zap off into space.
That's how you do it, baby.
I
That's
hate
the
this
plan.
guy.
And then
I
you
hate
get
this
like,
guy right now.
and then you get like a minute of River being like, I can read minds.
I think this portion of the segment, David and I have been looking at each other
Yeah.
more than either of us have looked at you because we're just looking at each other like, man, this.
And I see it in your eyes, Frank.
It's crazy how wrong he is, right?
No,
That's like what our
no,
eyes are saying.
I'm not wrong.
All right, just saying
as
this
soon as-
fucking son of a.
As soon as we're done recording, we jump him, right?
Yeah, right, we're gonna beat him up.
It's so wrong. I don't know what nostalgic glasses you guys are looking at it with, but it's just so boring.
I didn't see Firefly until way after.
Same.
It was like
Which
this
is
must
weird.
have been 2014, 2013.
Yeah, we're part of the problem.
Yeah,
Like, we're part of the reason it got
I
canceled.
never heard of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
same.
didn't hear about it. So
I probably wouldn't have watched it. But I liked Serenity. I liked it, I guess, more because...
don't try to get points back now, Danny. It's too late.
No. Oh, trust me. Firefly is still a hunk of crap. And I just don't like the show. The show has its good parts. It's kind of funny at some points. It's just the same episode over and over again, except for like
What?
They're so different.
They're so different.
no, there's some good ones. Don't get me wrong. It's just
Like I love all the comedy in it. Like,
there's good comedy.
and then you know what? One of the things I really like about Firefly is it's a perfect first episode. It gives you, it
Yeah,
lays
it's a good
out,
episode.
it lays out the world for you.
Yeah.
It tells you exactly, well, as much as you can, because part of the fun of the journey is figuring out who these people on the crew are. But you get everybody's character really right, and then you get like the action, you get the drama, and you get the comedy really hard. Like with Mal pulling that whole trick. Where like he tells the doctor that Kaylee's dead.
Yeah, I
and then
loved that.
He like runs
That
down
was
to see
good.
that she's like perfectly fine, and all the crew's just like up in the cockpit just laughing.
That was good. I
so
like I
funny.
said, the dialogue is good. It's funny. I just don't think it's near the amount of praise that it should have. Serenity's cool. That's it. I mean,
This is interesting because Danny, in the Cowboy Bebop versus, so which is better, Firefly or live action Cowboy Bebop?
oh. Wait, are you asking me if Serenity's better than Live?
No,
No, Firefly.
You got to watch one series all the way through. They're about the same length. Firefly's a little longer, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because I know what Cowboy Bebop should be. You know what I mean? And and it's more like a perversion of like my desires versus like me being okay with something that's original in front of
But
me.
part of that really turns you on too, right?
Like no. It's just like stomping on my childhood memories. That's not the Netflix version of Cowboy Bebop. Firefly's better as far as live action Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, so we at least agree on that. But then when we get to anime versus
Dude, I wish they
Firefly-
would bring back Firefly. I think if Firefly got a remix, like a remake,
with like some actual budget.
yeah, with some budget. I mean, I'm sure they could have budget if everyone was on board, or even if they put in some new characters.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, if they did it now, they'd have to revisit the universe, and the Firefly or the Serenity crew couldn't be the.
It couldn't be all the Serenity
It couldn't be the
crew.
focus. Like
Yeah.
it'd have to be, years later, and Nathan Fillion is like
with River.
gotten the brown coats back together again or something.
Yeah.
And there's actually a
That would
bunch
be
of
cool.
comic books that go into that.
Yeah,
There's like 3 or 4 different, little storylines.
There's a lot of lore, and I was trying to explore and really just get things explained to me at the same time. I was like, why does this? And I appreciate it. I just don't care. I guess that's my sum. Serenity's good. Firefly, I appreciate it. I just don't care.
I got to think part of this too might be the fact that you had to watch it in a week or so. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? Like maybe if, I don't know though. You probably still would have been like, eh.
I do feel like it enriched my Serenity experience because I knew the backstory of these people and I knew little things that they didn't get to say in Serenity, like the Tam's relationship more, which really goes deeper than Serenity ever made it. And
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion, I mean, you get to see more of his like, what's the word? His righteous disdain towards the Alliance because of what happens in the show. Why? Over time. You're like, oh, he's so mad at the Alliance. Why does he hate the Alliance? He's just a rebel. If you just watch Serenity, but
And you watch the show and you're like, man, I hate the Alliance.
I hate the Alliance. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Alliance is the man. They're the G-man. You know what I mean? They are China and the US
feds.
put together. Yeah. I loved the integration of the Chinese language. That was really cool.
Yeah.
That
It
was really cool.
seems, and you know what? They've done it in a couple other shows too. I can't think of what
The
it is.
Expanse. They do it in The Expanse, and
I haven't seen that one. This is another one.
The Expanse is like the new Firefly.
I thought in Cowboy Bebop, there's a couple things where they reference like
They do.
a combined
They have
language.
like Chinese curses and stuff like that
Yeah.
in Bebop. I'm pretty sure.
It's one of those things where it's like, and it's actually probably true. You know what I mean? China being like the dominant language of the
We'll
future.
get there one day.
Yeah.
So Serenity, made in 2005, has a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb and 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. And as we discussed, 119-minute runtime. They did throw a good chunk of money into this one with a $39 million budget. Had an opening weekend of $10,086,680. And at this point, they've just made their money back at $40,445,129.
It was a work of love, like a passion project, you know?
It's like, I got to do
And
it for the fans.
it was a
We
love
gotta-
letter to
we
the
gotta
fans.
finish it up for these guys.
I mean, even though I didn't totally like Firefly, when I was watching Serenity, I was like, this is cool. This is cool. I like this a lot. Like, it flows. It's good. I like Serenity.
very
even
emotional.
Yeah, it is very emotional, but they pull the fake death card way too many times. You know what I mean? Kaylee and Dr. Tim. Book died, and that was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good, though, when Book died.
I mean, who cares about Book, man? Wash dies.
When
I know,
Walsh dies, that
yeah.
is I think that's the death I feel the most easily.
Yeah.
It's
But
not
then,
right.
what's it called? Mal finally accepts Book, right, when he died.
Yeah. You know what? You're all right, man.
Yeah, you're part of my crew now.
Beautiful.
It's cool seeing River's skills finally. God, they dragged the hell out of that.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Firefly. You know what? The Reaver design, even in Serenity and all that stuff, was kind of boring.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen it in a while, and I'm having a tough time picturing it. So I'm going to have to agree with you.
It doesn't.
I don't think it's anything outstanding.
It's not even like zombie status. It's just kind of like.
Oh, that's
you know,
right.
They're
That's
kind of
right.
zombies.
It feels like it's out of like Next Generation or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. It's pretty cheap.
It's like Villain of the Week kind of
Yeah.
thing.
If anything, they should have just like never shown the Reavers because the ships were more menacing than
The ships
actual-
and even like their driving style of the ships.
Yeah.
They're like pedal to the metal 100% of the time.
and they did a good job of hyping up the Reavers and stuff. You know what I mean? But you know, another thing as far as a sci-fi goes, they're so deep in space and it's been like 600 years. I'm just like, why are there no aliens? I want aliens in this sci-fi
Maybe
show.
they don't exist.
Maybe they don't.
Yeah, maybe
Never
they
know.
don't. Shoot. Or they're so far away that we can't reach them. You know what I
They
mean?
saw us coming out into space and they were like, yo, we got to get the hell out
Let's
of
leave.
here. We've already seen what they did to their planet. We're out.
They somehow managed to catch a stream of arrival, and they're like, nah, these guys are crazy. Like, these guys do not respond well to aliens. Let's get out of here.
But okay, let me get my rating for Serenity.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it like a solid 78%.
Is that because it was 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb?
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
I
it was.
actually
Is that a
forgot
subconscious thing,
Huh.
maybe?
That was. That's about it for me. It was enjoyable and cool.
Which is even funnier because wasn't Arrival 7.9?
Arrival
7.8,
was
I
a 7.9.
Which is weird.
Hmm.
I feel like they're so close and very different sci-fi movies, man.
Yeah, there's a lot more action in Serenity
Yeah.
and comedy and everything.
Everything other than drama and sadness.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about sadness.
There's a little bit of inspiration
Yeah. a little bit.
in Arrival.
Whole bunch of like Western style gunplay. Gotta love some good gunplay.
Well, we're just
Oh,
having-
they finally
No,
have
you're
good weapons in Serenity. All the weapons look kind of whack in Firefly and
You're
stuff.
right. Yeah, I mean, you know, so
I'm like, you're telling me they're using repeaters in the year 2600?
Well, like you see, like Mal's revolver isn't really a revolver. It's got a bunch
yeah.
of weird stuff going on.
It's
in the
almost like a
center. It's
shotgun.
a weird like amalgamation of
Yeah.
like future gun and old west gun.
Yeah.
it's all about aesthetic. That's
Yeah.
what they're all about
Yeah.
in Firefly.
It's A space E.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what I was thinking. Well, you know, we're just having a good old time over here. You know, everything we said, hopefully we all calm down after this recording and nothing,
No one
be
gets
mad for
jumped on the
years.
way to their car.
no physicality, and hopefully me, you know, leering over them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that black coffee you brought me or your dislike of Firefly that's got me feeling so juiced right now.
I'd say the
Yeah.
latter.
You juiced me.
Pumped. Do we have an... Oh, that's interesting. Do we have one of those?
We do.
Oh, Frank.
So this is coming from slashfilm.com. .html.
Slash. No, I'm just kidding.
Halloween Ends is bringing back one of the few survivors from Halloween Kills. Goes on to say, you can't kill the boogeyman, but you'll have a tough time bumping off legacy characters too. Kyle Richards will be returning for the role of Lindsay Wallace in Halloween Ends.
MVP.
Yeah, for reals.
MVP.
AKA the smartest person riding in that car that day.
The Real Housewife.
Yeah. David Gordon Green's final installment in his new Halloween trilogy. Variety reports that the actor whose character survived a brutal attack by the Shape, aka Michael Myers, is in this year's Halloween Kills. She closed talks for her appearance in Halloween Ends. It's official. Richards originally starred. Oh yeah, that's just we know that she was in the original one.
Little girl, yeah.
So yeah, this is going to wrap this up for us on this new trilogy. New release date coming October 14th, 2022.
Wow. Okay. So not a long wait.
Hope I don't have to wait long.
Can I hit you guys with my Hemingway right now?
Yes.
Halloween ends. I seriously doubt it.
Yeah, especially if they make some money on it.
Yeah, if they make
There's
some
no
money,
way.
there's gonna be another one.
We're just gonna like start over again. They're just gonna get like schlocky and crazy and off the wall.
Yeah.
And then in 10 years, somebody else will remake it.
Thus is the circle of slasher movies. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I really hope they like up their game on it. It kind of worries me because they filmed it back to back. You know what I mean?
So I'm kind
like,
of
so they don't have any of the
They didn't have any of the feedback.
This is my theory with this Halloween Kills trilogy as it's slated currently. The first one was the serious Halloween movie. The second one, they went like schlocky. And then this third one, I don't know which kind of Halloween movie they're gonna do, but I almost feel like it was an intentional, like this is the legacy of Halloween. These are the kind of movies Halloweens are. Maybe we'll go like cuckoo batshit bananas, or maybe we'll just wrap it up seriously again. Who knows? I'm excited to see.
They haven't hit mysticism yet.
Yeah,
there's-
maybe they go voodoo on this.
You
next
go
one.
straight like he's a demon and
They do that kind of like Michael Myers' of possession kind of. They get into that in some of the really bad Halloween movies. So maybe we'll hit that again. Michael's the embodiment of evil summoned from the shrine. It's like, oh God.
That's like a fifth one, isn't it?
I think it's 5 or 6. I mean, who knows, man? I can't keep track of them.
I just hope they save it
Whatever.
because they started off on such a good note.
I feel like it's honestly, it's like the attack. Last one was like the Attack of the Clones of Halloween, where hopefully the third one at least is necessary to the story. Where it's like you can skip Attack of the Clones and literally not miss anything. Of course, to be fair, you could skip Phantom Menace and not miss anything either. But it would be nice to feel like the characters have gone somewhere.
I was gonna say I would rather just start at Attack of the Clones and then watch Revenge of the Sith than the Phantom Menace. The only thing you got to see in the Phantom Menace is like Darth Maul,
Qui-Gon dying.
Qui-Gon dying, and Darth Maul.
But what do you learn in Attack of the Clones?
Don't waste time playing with your lightsaber when you're in the middle of a battle.
Yeah,
Fair.
you learn that there's a little Jango Fett. That's
guess.
it. That's it.
Anyway, yeah, I guess you get a little clone backstory.
Matters.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting because one, chance to talk about Halloween. Two, at the end of the last one, we were like, I wonder if they're going to bring Kyle Richards back. And the answer is yes. Yes, they are.
And everyone else is dead, right?
For the most part, except for like Laurie Strode, remember the
Anthony Michael
Titans
Hall? Did
coach.
he
Isn't-
die?
He doesn't die. I hope they don't bring Anthony Michael
Yeah.
Hall back. He was like one of the worst parts of the
Or
movie.
maybe they'll
I bet they are.
I'll bet you they'll, now that everyone's like said their piece about it, I'll bet you they'll bring him back for like just
Just
a
to
minute,
kill him?
just to kill him, just to like
That would be glorious.
evil dies to.
I'd be back on board actually if they pull that off. You guys got me. Okay, kill them.
Listen to your audience.
Yeah. Well, Frank, I got to say, that is interesting indeed.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. I like it.
They're bringing it back. They're doing another one. Comes out October 14th, 2022.
You know it'll be here on UMR.
Oh, we will be talking about it without a doubt.
Well, that gives us a special undead edition of Character Limit Extended. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, a movie that, you can't get too excited about.
Did we need?
I wish I had a
Was
wet
it-
fart noise on this soundboard here. Yeah, I have it there. Not even worthy of the whammy. Not even worthy of the whammy.
I feel like I don't hate this movie as much as you guys. Who had the Hemingway though?
I had the Hemingway.
Frank, kick us off. Give us your thoughts. Even your Hemingways were all over the place. I felt like some of them were like, oh, this movie was okay, it's all right, and then some of them were like, this movie's the worst.
So I think my kind of reviews were pretty okay zombie flick.
Yeah.
Something like that. And on the opposite end of the spectrum was something like, thank God it's over and I will never watch this movie again, which was honestly how I feel. I can't see a reason for me to watch this movie ever again, ever, unless you pay me a decent amount of money to spend that like time. I like $32 an hour minimum.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. Untaxed, hopefully. Yeah, man. I mean, it did look the most like Resident Evil of any Resident Evil movie. Felt the most like Resident Evil. CGI, not great. What they decided to do with the characters, pretty meh. Especially Leon, it's just like broody little dude, like kind of like
Broody dumb dude.
What's happening? What am I gonna do? You can almost kind of guess that they're gonna shit the bed on the CGI dogs because it's a hard thing to pull off. I guess apparently.
I guess it is, right?
Apparently, it's hard to do. And yeah, I mean, if you're not die hard into the Resident Evil video game franchise, if you're like me, a more casual person who played less of it and watched other people play through it, you probably just skip it, man. You probably just skip right over it. Just watch something else.
Just go buy Resident Evil 2 remake.
Just watch 28 Days Later. A wink, foreshadowing.
I can't argue with either of those suggestions. I mean, playing Resident Evil 2 remake, better use of your time.
It's better. It's what should have happened.
It's way scarier.
Scarier and harder, and just actually looks better.
It's harder?
I feel like it's harder than the originals.
Than to watch the movie?
Oh, well, that too. Yeah, that too. I was real mad about this movie. It was offensively bad in my opinion. I hate how they made Leon not only not look like Leon, but just be a bumbling idiot when he is the OG of that whole team. It's like Leon, Chris Redfield.
Is he the OG if he's in the second game?
Okay, no, he's not the OG. He's the OP OG.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's Leon Kennedy, then there's Chris Redfield, and then there's everyone else. But, I mean, there's some cool shots. They get everything wrong again.
I did really I think my favorite part of the whole movie was the scene in the garage, just because it felt like a straight up zombie flick, straight up Resident Evil. I was like, okay, maybe we're turning it around. But then immediately afterwards, I was like losing interest again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to think like, okay, what if Resident Evil didn't exist and this was just a brand new movie that came out? And I think it would still be like, pretty mediocre, pretty passable. There's a lot of, like you guys said, there's a lot of bad CGI. Some that seems super unnecessary too. Like there's ones where they add all this blood dripping from zombie faces, and it's like it honestly would have looked better if you guys hadn't done that.
Like how expensive is blood?
You know it's just one of those things where I think it's like cheaper and it's less like we don't have to clean anything up. It's just something they do. Like think about the Thing reboot. It's just kind of a bummer.
CGI blood splatter.
Yeah,
it's just cheap.
And you know what else? It happens in Walking Dead all the time, where it was like, man, if you guys had just like done real blood, but then you got to clean it and reset for the next take. And I mean, I guess it's more work, but also don't you want your product to stand the test of time? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Apparently not. You know what I mean? Like you want it to stand the test of enough time that you like make a nice chunk of money.
Yeah.
There's like some dumb logic in it for sure.
Yes.
Especially at the beginning, one of the scenes that stands out the most is like when that trucker at the beginning, it feels very much like The Crazies, and that trucker like drives that semi truck like almost straight into the police station, and Leon's like, oh, it's getting pretty heavy out here, I better close this wrought iron gate and this plain wooden door just in case somebody else tries to run a truck in here. How strong is that door? I bet you're not stronger than a semi truck.
That's almost completely out of the game too.
Yeah, it really is. And you know what it is though? It's like in the game that door would be impassable and you're just going to come to terms with it.
That's true. Yeah, no one gets through that door.
The movie uses some weird video game logic sometimes. And for me, they go a little too out of the way to try and make as many Resident Evil references as they can.
Yeah.
Like they make the Jill sandwich joke, but in a context that doesn't make sense. It's like Jill just steals this guy's sandwich and says, oh, this is a Jill sandwich now. It's like, I've never called anything a David sandwich. I've never referred to my food as like possessive with my name. Oh, this is a David soup right here. I'm going to drink this up right now. It's just a weird thing to say, man.
That is a weird thing to do.
Right. But I do have to say this is something I disagree with you guys on a little bit. Some of the characters I think are just totally not necessary. Like, for instance, Jill, I think I'd agree with you on that kind of thing. Like, what does she even really do? But when it comes to like Leon, I mean, obviously I'm not thrilled about him being like a total putz. But none of the Resident Evil characters really have a character. Like when you look at the video game Resident Evil, you couldn't list 5 character traits for every character other than like
stoic,
determined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Righteous. kills things. You know what I mean? Like there is no character. So I don't blame the movie for trying to kind of change things up a bit, but I could see people who are, I don't know. I don't know what the expectation is to be like, I'm going to watch this video game adaptation and it needs to be exactly like the video game. This needs to be like a let's play that's 2 hours long. It just feels like kind of destined for failure.
Yeah.
And looking back at the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, people were complaining about, who's this Alice girl and who is she and everything. And it's like, well, I guess in a way he kind of made his own character and sort of kind of sidestepped some of that. And then when the actual Resident Evil characters show up, they're kind of caricatures. Like, it's hilarious when you see Leon in those movies, because he does show up, he's like wearing the outfit from Resident Evil 4.
Really?
It's like
That's
comical
hilarious.
how hard they go. They get the hair and everything.
Just like perfect.
They go super hard on making sure this guy looks exactly like Leon.
I have to check this out.
But then he has no character, you know what I mean? He's just cool guy with a gun. And it's like, well, this doesn't make a movie. Like, it works in a video game because you're imagining yourself as that character. But I don't know. It's weird to me. I kind of hope they come out with another one. But I don't think so. This one's been really poorly reviewed. Of course, they did the last ones too.
I was going to say, I'll let Stat Daddy look at it, but
Look 'em up real
look
quick.
them up. While you're looking up, one of the things I really love about the movie, though, like something I'm totally behind, is the use of 90s soundtrack and like nailing the 90s aesthetic. I just feel like you set a movie in 1998, which is a great nod to the original, but then they like really make it feel like the 90s. And I can appreciate that. And there's just some scenes where it's like they're hitting 90s ballad, but then also, murdering zombies at the same time. And it's just really kind of unique. I don't know. I've seen a lot of zombie movies. Haven't seen something quite like that. So,
wow, I'm looking at the Leon Kennedy that they been. It's straight out the book.
I mean, they went as literal as they could.
All right, so Resident Evil, welcome to Raccoon City. Raccoon City. Currently has a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb and a
That's way too high.
28% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's more like it.
They threw, no budget yet, but currently is worldwide grossing $24,559,930. Opening weekend raked in just over $5 million.
Yeah, when I went to see this in the theater, there was like 2 other people there.
Stat Daddy.
There were more people. I went on like a Monday afternoon and there were more people than I expected. That being said, it was like me and 3 other groups.
I do have to interject because at least on one page, I'm seeing a reported budget and a reported box office that's different.
Interesting. Well, sometimes there are, disagreements. What are your numbers here?
Budget says 25 mil. Box office says 24.6.
Interesting. Well, Frank was hitting opening weekend, right?
Opening weekend was 5 million. Worldwide gross, I hit first. I did it out of order from the way that I normally do.
Okay.
24,550 or 24,559,000, which rounds up to 24.6.
0.6.
Interesting.
So they made their nut.
They did, and depending on how many more places it opens up, they could make a lot more money. But
True.
That's kind of hard to say. I don't know. Interesting.
Open it up in India. This is the kind of movie people love in India.
Oh, yeah. Super over the top, very hammy, very cheesy.
They'll love it.
I mean, not the worst commercially released zombie movie by a landslide.
This definitely seems like a Resident Evil adaptation that could have came out of China or Russia or something like that. But I should have known. I know we had really low expectations going into watching this movie, but I should have known because now I looked up the writer credits for Johan Roberts, and who's the writer and director. Yeah. He wrote and directed 47 Meters Down, which is whatever. It's a shark movie. Then he wrote and directed The Strangers, Pray at Night,
right?
Which is terrible. God awful.
I've never seen it, and part of me wants to watch it just for the pain.
It almost ruins the first one.
I've known about the Stranger sequel, and I've never had any interest in watching it because the first one's so good.
Yeah, you don't want to do it. It'll sully it, dude.
And they're not going to shoot Dennis in the head again in the second one, so what's the point? Yeah. So it's even the point.
Yeah, The Strangers is almost a perfect movie. I love that movie.
What a great scene.
Strangers.
Hello, boom.
There's some weird like teleportation kind of stuff of the killers, you know what I mean? Like the practical natures of it, but as far as like tension goes and like home invasion movies go.
That would actually
Definitely.
be a really funny like joke cut to do, like the killer in one place and then like hauling ass jumping out of a window and then like running around the house
Exactly,
really quick.
yeah.
I've seen a meme like that.
Like army crawling, you know what I mean? Just like
You know what? This movie would go in a 3-way like good mix with
Like a Walmart DVD box set.
exactly
Okay.
with funny games. The Strangers.
oh,
I mean.
okay. I was like,
No.
Resident Evil.
Oh, we're on a tangent about Strangers. Strangers would go great with funny games, and it would go good with.
You're next.
Well, you're next too, but also the one that we watched, the French one, was it Martyrs? Not Martyrs.
High
Tension.
High Tension. You watched High Tension?
I did watch High Tension.
What did you think about High Tension, man?
It's good.
It's like again, kind of like that movie we were talking about before the show. Better watch out.
Yes.
Go somewhere you're not expecting.
Go somewhere you're not expecting. Doesn't quite stick the landing.
Yeah,
but good.
it's a little shaky.
Yeah.
It's a little shaky, but the parts where they hit it really well. So
Yeah.
that's an interesting movie.
Yeah.
I have to check it out.
Negative shout out, just on a tangent here. Negative shout out to Bad Santa 2. Don't watch. Speaking of sequels that tarnish the original,
Didn't even need to happen.
leave it alone. Even Christina Hendricks couldn't save that movie. That's it. She's in it. She's in Bad Santa 2. It's bad.
I
didn't
don't
know
even
that.
remember
I didn't-
Christina. I've
yeah.
seen Bad
She's
Santa,
the
and I don't
love
remember her being
interest. It's terrible.
there. She's the love interest for Billy Bob.
Yeah, the lady who runs the charity.
Okay, I guess.
Look this up on Google Images.
Lame, but anyway, wow, what an argumentative episode, and what better way to finish it but argue some more. with
It really
Peeps and
feels like
Predicts.
Christmas.
It does. It's like my uncle's here for the holidays, and Michelle's uncle too. So here we go. Yep, you're right. You're right. Hey, we found
How could I have forgotten?
we found the thumbnail for this video.
Well, at least he's sticking to his favorite position. That's on point for his character.
Call me
Oh
Santa.
man.
Okay, so Peeps and Predicts is the debate segment we have at the end of the episode where we take two peeps, or groups of people, really, and then we put them in scenarios where we argue about who would come out on top. And Frank, who are our subjects for today's game?
Today, our contestants are stuck together pretty good here. John Candy versus the Candyman.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I did this.
Wow, this sounds like you.
Yeah.
And what's their first face-off here, Danny?
Who is more likely to be casted as Bill Murray's estranged narcissistic spouse in the next Wes Anderson flick?
Well, sometimes these sway one way because someone is
Alive.
Alive?
Well,
not even alive,
yeah,
but someone's fictional and someone's someone's fictionary and someone is real.
Yeah.
I feel like this is John Candy. Am I the only one who's assuming this?
Can he be?
No,
in the
I would
next
assume
one?
John Candy.
I mean,
would-
yeah, John
would have
Candy
been,
would be
yeah.
great.
Well, I mean,
they dragged Harold Remus's dead body out of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
after Ghostbusters Afterlife, anything's possible, baby.
Dang.
He's just going to be silent and nodding the whole time as he passes the torch to
I
the
am
next
going to
generation.
make a GIF just for that and put it up on our website.
of CGI ghost John Candy
No, of Harold Remus
of
just
Harold
being
Ramis.
like nailed onto a screen.
giving his Mr. Miyagi at the end of Karate Kid. I mean, Candyman, that would be an interesting thing. I would love Wes Anderson to hit a horror movie.
Dude.
That would be so much fun.
Or a sci-fi movie.
It's like real whimsical. Yeah, I mean,
That'd
he
be
doesn't
really
really
cool.
go outside of kind of, I don't know, fantasy set in reality, as weird as that is to say.
Yeah.
Fantastical reality.
Yes.
That's his jam.
Fantastical Mr. Reality.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess Isle of Dogs is as sci-fi as he gets.
As weird as he gets. Like,
Yeah.
it's very, yeah, you're right. Fanciful.
Fanciful. So John Candy, are we agreeing on that?
Yeah, easily John Candy.
Okay.
It would be an interesting mix for sure.
It straight up seems like a 90s comedy or something. Like John
Have
Candy.
they ever worked together, John Candy and not to my
And Bill Murray?
recollection? Yeah, and
No,
Bill
I
Murray.
don't think so. Both SNL alums too,
Yeah.
huh?
That would have been great.
That would have been really interesting. We'll have to look that up. Maybe there's some weird obscure movie we haven't heard of. Who would be a better EDM artist? Daft Punk
Yo.
status.
The Candyman, dude.
Candyman, dude.
He's even got the look.
And the
Yeah.
name. That's
Yeah.
like a great.
And the samples, man. Be my victim.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, that'd be dope, dude.
Dude, like really cool synthesized like beehive sounds.
Very like Kalinsky kind of
Yeah,
thing. You know what I
man.
mean?
They were in a movie called Stripes.
Oh,
duh,
yeah.
Stripes.
Wow, look how uninformed we are right now.
On brand.
On brand.
Have you seen Stripes, Dan?
I have not.
Dang.
Stripes is a fun time.
CLE coming next.
I'm down.
Maybe not. We have some other stuff.
There's a lot to hit before
Funny,
that.
how did I
but
just forget? I feel like I've seen Stripes kind of recently too.
I'll hit it.
Well, yeah, I think we're in agreement on this, right? It's got to be
Candyman.
Candyman.
Like, I'm super down for that.
Like, I love John Candy, but I don't see him being like, he's the polka king of the Southwest, but he's not
The Kenosha Kickers.
He's not the EDM artist that we're looking for.
Polka.
No.
Next predict.
Next predict.
All right. If I can open it, that's a predict all on its own. Who's more likely to give a about Marvel Phase 4?
One last bleep, right before we get out of it.
Hey, the episode's not over yet.
I mean, I could see in no argument, in no way that Candyman would be interested in Marvel movies.
No.
Whereas, like, at least John Candy,
he's only interested in revenge.
if John Candy was alive today, he'd be like Rocket Raccoon.
Dude, if he was in the Marvel universe, yeah, he'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know who he would be.
He could have been Groot. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he could have been Groot. He would have been someone funny, you know what I mean? I don't know who, though.
Howard the Duck.
He would have been Spider-Man.
God, that would have been amazing.
Move
Like
over,
a
Tom
multiverse
Yeah.
Spider-Man where he's one of the Spider-Man.
Just like a
Dang.
big chunky Spider-Man.
Imagine if John Candy was in Into the Spider-Verse or Into the Spider-Verse.
That would have been great.
Been beautiful.
So John Candy progresses.
John Candy's the winner today, which means he goes up against our reigning champ. Patient Thomas? What is this?
Yeah, see, I looked over there a second ago and I was like, man, this joke is going to put us in a predicament right now because I don't remember who this Thomas is.
I just want to see if you guys can figure it out really quick.
Patient Tom. This is like something where you've changed the words.
It's Tom Waits.
Tom Waits.
Sorry, everyone.
I went patient as I immediately went to like hospital,
Huh.
but not patient as in like waiting.
Isn't English a fun language?
It
It's
is.
fun. Dang. That's some solid work you did there, bud.
Thank you.
No, it's spelled the same way and pronounced the same way, but they mean two totally different
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And actually, one's like an emotion and one's like a person.
The other day, someone was just like, I don't see why English is so hard to learn. And I'm like, really?
Huh.
Really,
Let me
it
guess.
might be the stupidest language ever next to Klingon.
Let me take a stab at it. English is the only language you speak, right?
yeah, exactly. Try learning there, and they are.
Yeah, anybody who says like English isn't a complicated language doesn't speak English well, I would imagine.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're roasting random people, and it's Tom Waits versus John
Candy.
Candyman.
Who's most likely to get coal in their stocking?
I mean, you can't give our boy John Candy.
No, he's
coal.
an
He's
angel.
a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He's Uncle Buck.
I was gonna say,
man.
even Uncle Buck, his brother and sister-in-law may not appreciate the way he lives his life, but all around, he's a really good guy.
He's still a good guy at the end of the day.
He's a great dude.
I mean, Tom Waits, I don't know how good he is, but he's not as good as John Candy.
No, he's not untouchable status.
He
like
may be
John
patient,
Candy.
but he doesn't have like other redeeming qualities.
Plus,
Probably
Tom Waits might get coal in his stocking because that's what he asked for.
because he smokes it.
Yeah. That's how he gets that sweet, smoky, raspy voice.
He's past cigarettes.
Yeah.
He smokes coal now.
He just lights a coal up and puts like a little hood over his head.
He has like one of those mini grills with like a necklace chain on it. Just hangs it up. All right, this is ridiculous.
Where's this going?
John Candy.
John Candy.
Oh, what a sweet victory.
Aw.
Right, and just in time for the holidays.
Aw.
How nice. How lovely.
Let me get one more in. Aw. Well, folks, thanks for sticking around. You know what? Weirdly enough, this is the first podcast in a long time we haven't hit a plug. So let me hit what's coming up next. I guess we got Frank's birthday pick. 28 days later, CLE. We're doing Spidey. We're gonna try and squeeze in Matrix 4. Also, we're doing a lot. Running.
We put
to
a
the end of the year.
lot on our plate for your viewing pleasure. So
Yeah.
make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Amen, brother. And then also, I've been trying to get an amen in every episode, just to kind of get Frank's facial
Yeah,
reaction.
I was gonna say.
And then also, we got our year in review episode coming up
Yay.
soon, where we talk about 2021 and also maybe talk about our movie resolutions.
Yes, which I'm chipping away at, honestly, because I was like,
We have to
oh,
get
crap, I
to
forgot
those
about this.
by 12:31, right?
I mean, that's how a resolution works, I
All
guess, right?
I think so. Okay. Just
Although
checking.
technically, usually a resolution isn't like, let me procrastinate until the last moment.
No, it's usually like, let me do this for 3 weeks and then quit.
That's it. That's why you join a gym.
Exactly. And then get charged for 3 months because of the cancellation fee.
Because even canceling is a little bit of an effort sometimes, so you get charged for 6 months.
A little too much effort, if you
Yeah.
ask me. Well, thanks for sticking with us. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Let us know which is better, Firefly, animated Cowboy Bebop, or live action Cowboy Bebop. How would you rank those three? That's what I'm most curious about. And what do you all think? Can you trust Danny and Frank with these giant holes in their taste? And am I being, that particular brand of asshole?